Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Presley, editor of Catfish Now. I have B&M Poles pro staff angler David Magness with me today, and David's lucky enough to get to fish the Mississippi River a lot. Uh, you are lucky in that respect, David, but he's going to talk to us a little bit today about the spawn or the pre-spawn bite. Hello, David. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, Mr. Ron, and you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. We've got a nice day down here in Florida. It's warm and sunshine as usual. Make me want
Yeah,
to stay in the house. But
I understand. I
anyway,
understand.
I am a little envious with you being down there so close to the Mississippi and you get to fish it a lot. Where do you actually live, David?
I live in Hernando, Mississippi, which is just 15 minutes below the state line of Memphis. I
Yeah,
can be at the pyramid in Memphis in about 5 minutes from my house.
uh,
So,
that's too close. Well,
yeah, it
what do you
is.
got for us today on this spawn pre? Sometimes June comes around, it can be a pretty tough bite.
Well, that spawn is a tough bite anywhere. Uh, and a weird bite sometimes. But on the Mississippi River, our spawn gets drug out for a long time. Seems like we'll start in June, pretty much go all the way through July, uh, and even into August. And but the bite that I see a lot of times dealing with the spawn is, and it actually happened this past weekend. Uh, Using spot lock or either on an anchor and casting rods out and just sitting and waiting, you'll get a a wonderful takedown, one of those that'll make you jump out of your seat, and get your heart pumping. And then by the time you get there, it's nothing. That fish lets it go, and you reel it in. And, well, of course, you let it a little bit, and you'll see he don't come back. But then when you reel it in to check your bait, the bait will be just smushed. Look like you put it in a vise and just squeeze the meat out, you know. And one thing that I found is don't be scared to adapt to change. That little bit of philosophy can go on with a lot of things in life, but also into the fishing. So downsize that bait. You know, don't be afraid to go with a bait. Even though you're targeting big fish, make that bait small enough that when he does grab it, he'll have that hook in his mouth. These fish tend to shallower water to spawn. Guess what? We're on the Mississippi River, and that dude changes daily. So
Yes.
he moves into 8 or 10 foot water today. The river starts falling tomorrow. Guess what? He leaves. So he'll move down to that next level, second bank, as some of us call it. And so you've got to adapt and move out there with him. And then you'll have that time that the plug will get pulled out of the river per se, and you'll get that fat ball, and he's going to the deepest water around. And so you never know what you're going to have to do. Some days during that spawn, it's hard to get a bite. It's a lot of looking going on, trying to find where those fish go. Where do they want to be during this spawn? And that's what's intriguing about the Mississippi River. No 2 days are the same. Every day is different, and adapting to that change daily, I feel like, is very, very important to success.
Well, there you go, folks. That's really a good tip for anglers anywhere, really. You probably, whether you're in the Mississippi or wherever, adapt to that change, and you're probably going to put more fish in the boat.
Yep. One of the hardest things for me is, I love bumping that river bottom. You've been with me when we've done it. Uh, but when these fish move in that shallow water into 6 foot of water, 8 foot of water, that is the very, very hardest thing for me to do, is to set up and fish 10 foot of water for a few pound fish. But
Yeah, there you go.
when you do hang into him in that shallow water, he don't have but one way to go, and that's the other way. He can't go down.
And that's going to be fun.
That's
Well,
going
there
to
you
be
go,
fun.
folks. There you go, folks. That's your B&M Poles tip of the month. Fish with passion.